Hey, this is Jonathan and Ethan from Bad Orange Entertainment, and this is our second episode of our bi-weekly podcast where we talk a little bit about projects we're working on, projects that we're planning on in the future, and just kind of like the daily life and just the different random things that happen in the filmmaking world, especially when you have a small little independent startup company like we do. Ethan, how are you doing?
That's right. I'm doing all right. Even in the let me silence my phone there. Even in the last week that we've taken, in between podcasts, I feel like so much has happened
Oh, for sure.
that like in between projects that we're working on, individual projects that we're doing to contribute to the business. Like I was just on a set recently. You were working with clients. Like it never ends with
No.
this job, and I love it.
It doesn't. And that's the funny thing, because I mean, I know that there was a couple weeks, I want to say, where it was probably like right after we shot the tub up until like 2 or 3 weeks where there wasn't a whole lot going on and we were just like planning
Ooh.
stuff.
Wasn't that nice?
And then it was like, I remember being stressed out about because at that time we were just like opening up a business account for Stubmasters. We were doing that. We had a
It's not Stubmasters.
Oh, fucking! There we
We
go.
did not
We
open up
didn't-
a
we did
business
not.
account for Stubmasters.
Sorry, we gotta. See, this is why we gotta go away from that shit.
Oh man.
But yes, so we made a business account for Bad Orange. We actually had a run-in with a job that was kind of fraudish.
Not kinda.
It was
definitely
a
not
fraud job.
kinda. It was specifically a fraud.
Yeah, that was an interesting story all in itself, but essentially it was just someone trying to impersonate a stylist,
Right.
and they were like, oh, we need some video shot, and we are like, this looks a little weird, so lo and behold, we look at their site, and it's like, oh, well, this person's like, hey, if you hear someone who's trying to offer this job, it's not me, don't do
Yeah.
it, so we saved ourselves some trouble. Could have been bad, but averted the iceberg on that one.
Yeah. So you were mentioning to me like, is this the whole industry at this level right now? Is just like we're at like the gig level. We're just doing
Ugh.
gigs at this point. Is that just the state of the business that we're at right now?
I
Like just going through the mud?
Dude, I kind of want to. I hope it is because it gets to a point where, we're figuring out a lot about this as we go. When we shot the last
Right.
Stubmaster, that was our biggest project at the time. We had no idea what we were doing. We figured like this is probably the way you organize a thing. It probably takes X amount of time. We went out there and we learned our lesson and we moved on from there. And I feel like that's how a lot
Right.
of our projects are going. And at this point, I'd say like finally, we established this company back in June, and now it's September, and I feel like now we're finally in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing.
Even with just the few months that we've been operating, we've been growing.
Yeah.
In terms of the money that we've made, the experience that we've gained, the people that we've brought on board, either for freelancing or in a more permanent position. So we're growing every day, and there's something to learn every day.
That's definitely the nice thing. And what's really interesting too, at least what I learned, was we were really lowballing our prices at first, and Ethan and I can tell you there are some projects where you want to make sure you're getting paid if you're spending 8 hours on set adjusting lights, fucking dealing
Yeah.
with weird actors, setting up camera equipment, video editing. I mean, there is a lot of work that goes into it, and at first I never really understood why things were so expensive. Now that I bought all of my equipment, I've been in a warehouse, and I want to go. I know what it's like for a shoot to schedule to end at midnight and run until almost 6 in the morning.
That one was brutal.
Yeah,
That one was
it's
brutal.
work. Believe it or not, the people in Hollywood, they work. Everyone's grinding. And right now we have a handful of connections that we've definitely used, but at this point it's just us kind of like finding our way and just kind of pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps, kind of,
Yeah.
in the small business world, and we're really just trying to make ourselves different. I'd say
So
I
yeah.
don't mean to talk too much, but I guess you can talk a little bit more on this, but I'd say the biggest thing that we've came from recently, I guess, that we weren't necessarily marketing ourselves correctly.
Yeah. So, we both, you mentioned before, like, we spread ourselves out very thin in terms of, like, our personal lives, education, work, the gigs that we get, trying to make this the best company that we can make it, and have fun and be happy doing it. So that's a lot of things to focus on. I've been thinking about like my mental health a lot lately, and just like what I can do to make sure I don't go fucking insane during quarantine, and trying to get this business off the ground as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been just trying to keep myself in check. You're rubbing your face right there. You look like you've been having a day.
Oh, dude, no, I feel you, man. It's one thing when you're trying to start up a business, not in a pandemic. It's another thing when you're trying to do it remotely. It's another thing when you're constantly learning how to do this stuff as you go. So it's been a really difficult process. And, additionally, we're trying to put out our own creative content. We're trying to write our own scripts as well to get produced eventually down the pipeline. So it's just a lot of moving parts. And, aside from our marketing person who just recently came on board, Haley, and just kind of like doing really good stuff with Instagram, it's a 3-person operation, and we're doing a lot. And I think that we have a very small team, but we're very effective, and we've come up with a lot of awesome stuff. And what I'm happy to say is that the people that have worked with us either A, want to work with us again on stuff, or B, have really enjoyed the stuff that we've put out. And I think we're on the right track.
How happy are you that you don't have to think about Instagram ever again?
I'm pretty happy about it. I wouldn't say I never have to think about it.
No, you're right.
Because it's something where it's just kind of like, I'll get an email, and then it's something about Instagram or something I think could work with Instagram. Then I'll end up calling up Haley. I'm like, Haley, I need you to go ahead and just post this, or would you mind talking about this today, or would you go ahead and give this person a shout out? So it's.
Would you say it helps? The load.
Yeah.
So far?
Yeah. No, for sure. It's really nice that like a post comes up. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is. It's just kind of it's cool like that. Instead of
a little Christmas present.
A little Christmas present. Every now and then there's just cool stuff that pops up.
Nice.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a different experience, and I like the direction that the company is moving towards. It seems like this week in particular, there's just been a lot of traction, a lot of different emails. Ethan, I haven't mentioned this to you yet, but I'm going to have to look into this, because the thing is, when something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay.
I think that's a good rule. But there was this small toy company. I have not looked into their validity yet. I literally just got the email a couple hours ago, where they liked our YouTube channel, and they were wondering if they could send us stuff to then advertise on our
like a sponsorship?
Yeah, almost like that. And I'm like, oh. I mean, I haven't responded to it yet, but I think it's called Freebies, so I'm about to look that up. I'm going to do it in like an incognito browser.
Sure, if you want, I can use my contact to look into their business license or whatever.
See, after Ethan and I had that scare, we've been very cautious about the people and the jobs that we're picking. And not to say that, okay, listen, at this level, any job is great. You want to go and you want to get that money. However, there's some times where if they're going to pay, it's like, for example, someone reached out to me, thankfully, because I guess our websites and our Instagram stuff is working well.
We're just that good that people are reaching out to us now.
They're just,
now.
Oh, yeah. But this guy was like, hey, I need some like animation videos that tell a story, and I want it to be like $5, $10 a video. And I'm like, buddy.
Of whole video.
No. I'm like, listen, most video, I mean, sometimes you can get like $150 an hour working on this stuff. And we're being kind enough to where we'll start at something basic. We'll do $50 an hour. I think at this point, we're starting to come up with our metrics. And I'm like, listen, buddy, we might do it for $50, or, I'm willing to negotiate, but $10, no.
Yeah, dude.
We gotta, bump it up, so it's...
We gotta know our worth, and that's something that through experience, we know our levels of ability. We know how much our time is worth. Like I said, like when we have to deal with 5 different things going on every day, we have to figure out how much is it worth it really.
Exactly.
When I'm working on this movie right now. I was on set the other day. I was just an extra, and I was there from like 12 to 11. and it's extra work, so it's not, well, you don't do
No,
much.
it's never fun, and it's funny because generally we're on the opposite side. We're the people setting up the cameras
Right.
and shit. So I'm curious, how was it being on the opposite end and being that person just sitting on the couch reading the script?
Oh man, well, first of all, I went in that morning and I was prepared to be a cop. I had like my dress shirt and my black pants,
Oh boy.
and I was ready. I was ready to be a cop. I got there at 12 noon, and I didn't get into wardrobe until 5. Just
Oh.
hanging out in the green room, which is it's okay. I expected some waiting. When I got to wardrobe, I realized that they were putting me down from cop to just civilian man walking the street, and then I waited like another half hour to actually get onto set.
Man.
I get onto set. It's another hour until they like pick me to be like populating this little city street green screen corner. Then I'm walking back and forth in front of the camera for like 15 minutes. They switch the other side for another angle. I walk back and forth for 15 minutes. That was it.
I mean,
was
I
done
want
filming
my-
by like 7.
Dude, my question is, how many times are you gonna show up in the movie now? Like in the background, just being that guy just walking around.
Well, I was on set for one day this past Monday,
Right.
and they don't have like the most organized call sheet system or like just structure in general. So I had no clue when I was going to be called. I figured like, they'll let me know in some way. So I was doing some dog sitting
Yeah.
for your dogs the other day
Ah.
on Wednesday.
Love him.
And what was it, Wednesday? Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. And at 12:30 last night, so technically this morning, they sent a call sheet for me to go and be there in 11 and a half hours in Homestead.
Wait, so do you have to go tomorrow?
No, that was supposed to be today.
Oh, you said fuck that.
I said, fuck that. You want me to go an hour away
For
for like $100 a day, like with only 11 and a half hours notice? I said no, pretty much. I looked at my contract. It was an unreasonable hour that they were reaching me,
Oh.
and I just
You
I just
pulled
said
the
no.
contract card.
I did.
I
I
love
sent
it.
it to I sent it to Francine, and I'm like, Francine, can you look at this contract and just tell me for sure if I'm obligated to go? And she said no. So I pulled the card, and I'm pretty sure we don't need extras tomorrow. So I was there one day. I'm getting my $100. You'll see the movie
Hey,
when it comes out.
Gee, is there like an estimated release date?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
I know when I was talking to the director that he just got a camera for the production that when you export it, the file is like a Netflix acceptable format.
I mean,
So
we have the same thing, so it's
right. So I'm
It's
just
fine.
saying it could be there.
it could be there. That could be cool. That's good.
But if you see a guy in I did a second wardrobe change, and they never ended up needing me anyways.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah.
That's
A
Ugh.
girl I was talking to there showed up at 12, and they didn't film with her the whole
Right.
day.
Yeah.
But if you see a guy in like the first 10 minutes or so with a big fluffy black coat, it was weird because like it's supposed to be a very futuristic setting,
right.
and there are people dressed up in silver body paint.
Okay,
and
how
spandex.
good was the production value of this?
Production value was good. It's probably the most like the best set I've been on.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I told you, but Aaron was working it
Oh, really?
as well. He was doing electric and gaffing
Was
and
he having
stuff.
fun?
He was having a blast. He
Oh
does
my
he
God.
does good work.
Whatever,
But,
we need to bring him on, like everything we're working with.
Yeah, but set wise, it was good. I mean, like production wise, it was good. Like they had the good cameras, the good dollies and shit like that. But they had like a corner of a room, so like like cut
Yeah.
like 25% of a room was just green screen.
Oh, that'd be nice to have.
And yeah, it was really crazy, and they had like green props and shit. So the animators are gonna have like a field day. The VFX artists are gonna go nuts with this.
Okay, well that's cool. You know, we haven't really
Yeah.
worked with any VFX artists, like real VFX artists
Oh
so
no,
far.
not yet.
That'll
but,
be the day. That'll be the fun stuff.
So I'm the most normal dressed guy there. I'm just wearing like slacks, a dress shirt, a jacket. Meanwhile, other people are spray painted silver and have like futuristic wardrobe. But I just look so weird.
Oh, dude,
Out of place.
It's wonderful. Maybe they don't tell you, but like you're the main character. You just don't know it.
I'm definitely not. The director's the main character.
Oh. Huh. What a fucking tool, that guy. Fucking narcissistic dickweed. Just, you know,
Oh, man.
inserting himself, making himself some sort of an action hero, I bet. You know,
Yeah,
just-
who would ever do that?
who would ever fucking do that?
You made yourself like an international assassin.
Oh, dude, I'm never gonna live that. It's funny too because I never realized how strange. Because here's the thing, like I guess when I was writing the script for 4, it was like in a dark place, and at this point I'm like, okay, well in canon, I guess
It's a
now.
dark place.
Yeah, I was kind of like, well, I mean, I had just gotten out of like a 3-year-long relationship. And I'm like,
Right.
I have nobody at this point. I'm in this mood.
I'm a lone wolf.
Let me
Are you
go
gonna
ahead.
be a sheep
I'm gonna-
or are you gonna be a wolf?
Okay, I'm gonna say like, I think thematically, I'm gonna go ahead and play the George Lucas card. Say at least there was a plan.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it
there
was.
was a plan. There was an attempt made.
I think it, all things considered, it was a fun project. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, it's always fun, just throwing yourselves in, in multiple roles, of course. But I don't think I'm going to do that for a while again.
You're gonna try to stay behind the scenes.
Dude, I would love to act and do something like that. I think it would be
Okay.
fun. And it's kind of cool because in your production company, you're like, oh, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've only been trying to branch out into acting in the last few months of quarantine, really, because I tried to get some more commercial voiceover stuff and work from home stuff, basically. And I remember just applying en masse to all these jobs, and I got a few of them. It feels good to get
yeah.
a $10 here and there for
Right.
a voiceover.
Dude, that's awesome.
But yeah.
That's where it's really at.
Yeah.
God, man, it's such a fun process, and there's so many different creative things I want to do. Like, I really wish that scripts took a day to write, because I wish
Have you seen those videos that?
I wrote a
talk
script in
about,
48 hours.
Yeah, I wrote a script in 48 hours. I wrote a script in a week. I wrote a script in a day. It's all the little
Dude, I'm sure it's a trash script, but
But then again, you could say as long as you've there's the school of thought of vomiting the script out
right.
and getting some project.
I
Is
mean,
it better than getting
no
project?
I mean, you know what? Maybe I'll try that method. Maybe, Ethan, maybe this weekend I will sit down with a project
Right.
that I started writing, and I'm going to say I'm going to write all of it today.
Right. This isn't maybe it works for everyone differently.
Right.
I wouldn't say vomit your script if it's your absolute passion
Oh,
project.
no. But if you're just trying to crank something out. It was funny. Haley actually...
or even vomit your first draft. Maybe just start there, but as long as you
right.
get it done.
Exactly. I mean, it's funny. I mean, that's how I started. Hate referencing The Last Stubmaster, but that's how I pretty much started. We saw that first rough cut. I was like, okay, let's just get this in
Yeah.
a form that is semi a product, and you kind of went from there, and then you see the final product, and it's light years difference. But I'm sitting on a couple scripts I've been working on. It's honestly sitting down and everyone has the time to do something. That's one of the biggest myths that I think that people tell you is oh, I would have done this, I just don't have the time. It's really just a matter of priorities, and that's absolutely true. And right now I'm prioritizing. Oh, I just knocked the camera over slightly. Let's hope.
Don't knock the camera over.
Can't do that. Hopefully we're still in. I think that's good enough. Well, I'll do that just in case. But yeah, I'd say that priorities-wise, we're trying to get this documentary done. And it was funny because it was originally supposed to be just behind-the-scenes little short thing. I'm like, well, there's a real story here, and I think that got
Right.
brought to life when you and Sebastian, started talking about it. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
should we talk to John maybe and get his
What?
John Callai?
For doing like score stuff.
I mean, not even
really?
that, but he was a major part of the project. I mean, he was part.
Oh
he was
shit,
the.
you're right.
He was.
Shit, you're right.
He was the zinger. He was in canon. In an earlier draft of that script. You know what? I'll save that for the documentary. Maybe I'll save that
Okay.
exactly what he was supposed to do. But there was a point
You
where
haven't you haven't filmed your parts yet, right?
No, I haven't, because I wanted to see.
Okay.
Because honestly, I was seeing how well you guys went off, and I'm like, it's kind of cool if I would like to just. I'm kind of just editing this together with you guys first. I'm going to see if I need to insert myself, because I feel like a lot of projects and stuff, like I always talk about it and kind of go on to it. And it's a different experience to have someone from the outside speaking on those same events, and kind of, because in a way it's kind of like your perception of who I am, and it's very interesting of seeing those bits
I was
as well.
sort of hoping you would have your stuff done by the time you looked at it for the first time at our footage. But maybe just use this to your advantage of like, since we talked about specific points, now
There's
you
a
can
reason,
elaborate on
right?
them.
There's a reason why I did that. I wanted to basically just hold back and see what direction you guys wanted to go. Because in terms of directing, and I guess this is the way I do things, is I am not a dictator director. I do not say this is the way it has to be. I will never fucking budge on this ever. I'm the type of person where I give everybody autonomy. Like, if I bring somebody on to do a job, I ask them to do a job. Like, if I ask my cinematographer to give me a shot list, I'm like, okay, what do you think is going to work best for this? Cool.
Right.
Awesome. Hey, Aaron, this is kind of what I want. Make it look awesome. I'm the type of person, like, you don't have to ask me every 5 minutes, how does something look? I brought you onto this project because I know you're capable of doing these things.
Right.
Just go ahead.
As long as it contributes to
Exactly.
Looking good.
Right. So that's the way I wanted to do things, and I think it works pretty well. Autonomy definitely gives people more creative freedom, and that's what I wanted to do here. I wanted to just kind of see what you guys would come up with in this story, and then kind of insert, I guess, segments I felt like were necessary if anything wasn't really expanded upon in the end. But it's so fun. I mean, I sat there and when I was listening through all of these things, and it's a lot of great moments, sparkled throughout.
Who knew that the shoestring spectacle would be the next Tiger King?
I mean, hey,
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean, I didn't know who the fuck I knew who Carol Baskin is now, but beforehand I didn't know. So you never know where things can go. It's an exciting journey. But Ethan, I guess what I want to talk a little bit about today, I guess as well, is I know that you're currently working on a screenplay for something. Could you give me like a 1-sentence summary of what you're working on?
But if you're asking for, like a little synopsis, and I'm not sure how much I've told you, but it's about this war photographer who's come home from the service. He's been home for about a year, and he starts thinking that he's seeing the monster that he saw overseas. And it's not an allegory for PTSD or shit like that. Like, this man saw, he saw a fucking monster.
So, where's the playlist? I know I have it here. The Last Stubmaster Inspiration. There are 7 songs, 32 minutes.
Okay. Am I gonna know any of these bands, or is this just
Ethan,
like...
this is some weird shit.
Or is it like super mainstream?
It's not like incredibly... Okay, so there's a lot of... Okay, there's 2 tracks from Mogwai, which is like an indie artist. I think these actually came off of the Miami Vice film by Michael Mann.
Alright, just start from the top.
So, We're No Here, Auto Rock, One of These Mornings by Moby, Lowlife, Ex-Ambassadors, People Are People, Depeche Mode, Never Let Me Down Again, Depeche Mode, and Collard Greens.
Okay, alright, that... You had the Depeche Mode in there. You had the Ex-Ambassadors?
In like one of the early cut things. I think I threw that in at the end credits.
Could be worse.
It could be.
There could be a way worse playlist. I was expecting, like, fucking, I don't know, like Dad Rock.
Fuck you.
So I'm glad that we got some bangers in there
too,
with the Ambassadors and the Depeche Mode.
Me too. What are we running at time right now?
I think we're just about at like half an hour if
At 30?
if we're
Okay.
looking at the camera.
Do you want to go ahead and start wrapping?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel good.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm. Hopefully, you guys got something out of this. We really enjoy just talking about different projects all the time. It's super
So-
fun.
We did the pilot,
Right.
and I guess technically the first episode. If you haven't seen the pilot, go check out the pilot. See if you liked that. There's anything you would recommend, if you want to make suggestions.
Right.
How does this one turn out? Was it good? Was it shit? Let us
Be
know.
real, we're new at this, so I mean, it's something. And this is good. I like this format, and I just love working on video stuff. At the end of the day, it all comes back to that getting in front of a camera and just hitting the red button.
Yeah, it's always a joy. So, Jonathan, take us away with the plugs. What have we got?
Of course. So,
are you filming on your end?
let's see. Am I filming? You're
'Cause
damn
if
right,
not,
I'm filming.
All right, take it away
All right.
with the plugs.
So we got a lot of awesome stuff right now. You can go ahead and check out our Patreon. You can go ahead and look at that for original content, early content. Matter of fact, you can go ahead and see our brand new film, The Perch, as well as The Last Submaster from last year exclusively on Patreon. It's pretty good. Additionally, you can go ahead and check out our merch. It's new, and we finally have it. So if you want like this cool ass fucking cosmic orange on your forehead or on your shirt, you can have that now. So that's all there. Also, if you're a filmmaker and you don't know what film festival to subscribe to, or not subscribe to, but to submit to, there's tons of options out there. But Kalahari is a very awesome international film festival. Basically, all the proceeds that they make, they go towards to helping people over in India. I love the organization. Right now, actually, if you use the code Kalahari Jonathan, I'll put it right there at the bottom, you can actually get a discount on your submission. You should definitely check that out. And finally, for I guess people that watch our Instagram, we have this new thing called Linktree. Linktree is awesome. Basically, we realized we had a lot of stuff going on, Patreon, YouTube channel, our website. You can now access all of this from our Linktree link. You can go ahead and find that on our Instagram page if you want to go and check that out there too. So
it's the best way to like share the most information about us, like in the smallest package.
Exactly.
So definitely check out the Linktree if you can and share it around. Really.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed the episode last time. Next week we'll probably talk about some of the progress that we're making on some of these jobs we talked about in this episode, or the week after, or whenever this ends up getting released. But
would you guys prefer a weekly, bi-weekly? Let us know.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we do these things because it's fun. It would be kind of cool just to kind of keep track of what we're doing. But at the same time, it is entertaining just to see what you guys think about our operations or what we could be doing better or things that we're doing well. I'm Jonathan from Bad Orange. We got Ethan over here.
I'm Ethan.
Big head manager. Have a wonderful day.
Peace.